Okay, so this is kind of perfect. We have discovered we have an opportunity here to do something I actually have wanted to do on here, intend to at some point, which is show you how to start a fire in a less than ideal situation. We are in the Smoky Mountains. We're in the Appalachians or Appalachians, depending on where you're from in the country. We just had a torrential downpours all day. We've been fishing our way down Little River, and now we're on Tellico Creek?
No.
Tellico. Citico.
That's
Citico.
it.
So anyway, we got here late, trying to get all our stuff up. We've got our tarps and our hammocks and everything ready to go. In the dark, with our headlamps. And situation is, we need a fire, and all we have is green wood and wet wood. I believe I can start a fire here. I'm going to show you things that you might have like in your ride and you should have in your backpack. And yeah, so let's do that. I'm going to show you how to do this. All right. First thing down here, we've got this piece of wood that is split, which is actually really handy, but it's green wood, so it's not going to burn easily. The most advantageous way to have wood to start a fire is split wood, so we at least have that going for us. What we need is a lot of little kindling. We've done a little bit of prep work already, so it's ready to go, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a split piece of wood like this. One thing we can do is take your hatchet, get in and go and come through with and kind of feather it and get pieces like this, because these will light and ignite a lot easier. Even though they're green, they'll dry out faster and start to burn faster. And get as much of that as you can. One of the biggest things you want to do is get a large pile. If you like this were actually like a really bad situation, like life or death, and you needed this, you would prepare large piles of kindling. You'd prepare a large nest. We didn't see any cedar trees really close. I would have liked to have made my nest out of cedar bark for the sake of just for this video. There's nothing that's really handy and close, and so I'm going to do it with something that was in my ride. Because again, what you want is a fire. You don't want to be super awesome mountain man. You just want a fire. So we have prepared enough to start a fire. These are not skinned. We started on that one. And I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of that, because what you're trying to do here is we don't want to start the fire on the ground. So we made a wood base out of these three pieces that we got. This is going to work as our backdrop, and this is what is going to catch on fire. This is what we want to build our fire against. This is like, also would work as a windbreak. You would build it where if we had a breeze, say the breeze is coming from this way, use it as a windbreak, because you're going to start your nest right in here. And it's against the feathered wood. That's what we want, because this is what's going to ignite the quickest. So this is actually kind of perfect for us. Let's see. So we've got this stuff ready to go, and we're going to use it. And yeah, so if you have a log like this, and we would make a base, and we'd want to rip as much of the bark off of any of this as we could, one way to do that with a log that is still got the bark on it is just to feather it. You just come in at an angle and a glancing blow. And you would just work your way all the way down it until you get it nice and raw. And that way you're going to build your fire on that. And all the while you're doing that, you're making wood chips that are going to help you start your fire. And also, one other little thing I'd like to show you is you can take and you can split twigs. This one's part of the chunks of the split wood that we've taken off, but you can do this with a decent sized twig, about as the width of your finger would work. You get it on your solid base, you start it, just get it started with the knife, and you're going to use, like your little log as a mallet. And then you've got split twigs. The thinner you split them, the easier that is for them to ignite. So I wanted to show you that. That's something you need to know. And what we're going to do is we're going to use some napkins. because napkins or paper towels would be something you would have in your backpack, theoretically, or especially your car. Again, everything here is either green or waterlogged, so not going to be the easiest fire to build. But this is exactly how you would prepare cedar bark as well. Cedar fibers, they work really well because they're saturated with the tannins and the sap, and they burn really well. And you would treat the cedar fibers just like this, get it in a ball, roll it around, and get it shredded a little bit. Get it fibrous, because fibers catch a lot easier. Get your nest going. The way we're going to do this, there's plenty of easy ways. Like, I could use a Bic lighter, which everyone should have in their backpack, because again, we're talking about you want a fire, you're not trying to be Bear Grylls. But we're going to do it this way for the sake of showing you. Make sure you don't pack it too tight. You don't want a tight ball. You want air to be able to get into it. Air is a pretty crucial ingredient for fire. There it is. Well, regardless. This in here. You're basically going to build a lean-to shape. Going for a lean-to shape. With the sticks that you're hoping to start a small bed of coals. And coals is what's going to dry this. What will start to dry out these fibers, and this log is our ultimate goal. That log needs to be burning, and we'll be good all night. So I'm going to set these in here, leave them kind of loose. And here's where the fun part is. These are sparks. You go in here, and you can throw sparks at it all night long. You're not going to have a whole lot of luck. This might go okay, but this is what I really want to show you. Hand sanitizer should be in your vehicle, should be in your pack, because it serves a variety of purposes. Theoretically, it's antiseptic. Theoretically, there's a lot of things you can do with it. But anyway, it is also alcohol-based and serious fire go-go juice. Yeah, there we go. So, with that going, what we want to do, honestly, right now, let it do its thing, because it's doing it pretty well. At this point, you could get a little bit ambitious and want to start piling the twigs on, but you could choke it out really easily at this point too, and we don't want to do that. We want it to have plenty of air. That is the key. And look at that. That piece right there is already ignited. And that was one of the green logs. The shavings we made. That's what we want. That's what we want.
A little bit of backstory on today. So it's been kind of quasi-thunderstorming all day with torrential downpour. And we caught about a 4-hour break. But we're expecting it to pick back up with upwards of 90%. Chance of torrential downpour yet again, and thunderstorms all night long. Hence what we're trying to beat out. And I am constantly getting beads of water on the back of my neck, so it's threatening already.
Yeah, we do keep getting sprinkled. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's been an awesome day. Not every day do you get to drive down a beautiful river, follow a river all the way down and stop halfway, or stop every so often and fish. Like that was great. We did do a lot of great fishing. We didn't catch a lot of fish, but I mean, good God, any day you're waist deep in a river in the Smoky Mountains, in the Appalachians, or again, Appalachians, God, that's not a bad day. That's not a bad day. There we go. Like, we might be onto something here, dude. We might just get a fire out of this still. So go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and cut camera for now, because it's turned into about 11 minutes at this point, and you're definitely getting bored with us. But once we get this fire going, if we get this green wood and wet wood turned into a fire, we'll check back in. If we don't check in, we probably died. Okay, so we did not die. We are checking back in, though there were some harrowing moments in the interim.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well played. Okay, so we have a fire out of green wood and waterlogged wood. Yeah, that's legit fire. Now, like, to kind of put an end cap on this video, things you would want to do here, now that you have a good fire going, obviously, you're going to want to keep feeding it with whatever twigs, sticks, you're going to want to keep gathering wood. Second thing, the bigger logs you have, they'd be green, waterlogged, whatever, set them near it, on it, anywhere close to it, so that the heat from this fire will start drying this out. That way, this will be dried out. You put it on, it'll burn a whole lot easier. So you always kind of stage whatever wood you intend to go on next near the fire for it to dry out. The main things I want you to take away from this video are feathering wood, getting splintered open face wood, splitting twigs, getting anything. You got to get the raw fibers exposed. That is one of the #1 things. And get a good nest out of something really fibrous, whether it be cedar bark, paper towels, napkins, I don't care. Something I should have mentioned earlier, I want to go in here is, you know, worst case scenario, you've fallen in a creek, it's going to be in the 40s tonight, it's gotten too dark to try to get out, whatever. Hypothermia is a very, very, very real threat and can kill you in just a few hours. You need to get your clothes off, and you need them drying, and you need heat. You need to get dry, and you need heat. Okay, so you most likely are going to have in your pack water bottles. We live in 2019, so pretty much everything in your pack is probably petroleum-based. Anything petroleum-based, once you have a flame, you saw how we started the flame. Once you get that flame, you get a water bottle in there, preferably without the water in it. It's going to catch on fire, and it's going to melt down into a little ball, and that ball is going to feed itself and burn for several minutes. And that right there, a sustained heat source and flame, is one of the best ways to get a fire going. So that's just something I should have mentioned earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it in now. Main thing is like logic and common sense, y'all. Just keep things like that in mind. If you're out hiking, you've got a backpack, and everything in that pack is more than likely flammable.
Up into and including the backpack.
Up into and including the backpack. I don't know, because we're in this age of flame retardant everything when it comes to those kind of materials. Your nylon straps on it, though, they would go. And any plastic buckles, they would go. So, yeah, just logic, guys. Just logic and reason. The biggest thing is to know how to get your nest built and how to get your initial spark. You need to know how to make a fire. That's all I'm saying.